Hey there. If you own a Kia Sorento, you probably know the noise that the sway bar end links can make on the front end. You might have even hit a tiny crack in the road and you've heard that loud, crashy, rumbly noise coming from the front end that makes you think that your ball joints are all wore out or the front end's going to come apart. Well, today we're going to tackle it and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks how we go about replacing these. You'll see here on the right side, we've got the front right sway bar end link. From this side, here we go, trying to get the light on it here. This one is not necessarily our culprit on this pair. The front left one happens to be with the one with all the slop and play in it. I had the stethoscope out and I could hear it squeaking away every time we hit a bump. You'd almost think it was a ball joint, but we followed our ear to these sway bar end links. My wife's car has 272,000 miles on it today, and I believe this is the 5th pair of front sway bar end links I have installed in it. The new pair is going to be a lifetime warranty pair, as if we're going to get a lot longer out of this car. I'll bring you back here once we get the socket set up and start to buzz these nuts off. Well, that one popped right off. They don't always go that easy. Sometimes you got to get a wrench back here on the flats to hold them still. Other times they'll have an Allen wrench hole right in there, or a hex hole right in there for an Allen wrench so you can hold it still while you turn it. We'll see how these bottom ones are going to go here in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and buzz off this other top one, and hopefully we can drop the sway bar far enough that we can get an impact on these lower bolts and not have to bust out the wrench. We'll see what happens here. Got lucky on that one too. Doesn't always happen here in the Rust Belt. With both of the upper ends detached, we're going to grab a hold of the sway bar here and pull down and get ourselves some room to access these lower nuts with the impact and see how we do. Be right back. Right side lower bolt coming out. No such luck. Left side lower bolt. No such luck. Time to hold the back side. All right, so we got our 17 millimeter wrench on the back side here to hold this bolt. Now that stud is going to pop out of there after we get the nut off with the 18 millimeter. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Get our 17 on the back here. Remove the nut and then take the stud out of the hole. So now we've got both sway bar end links out of the way. Can work on cleaning up these holes and getting the new ones installed here. I like to just take a shop rag quick and clean these holes out. Make sure that there's no dust or dirt or grime gonna fill up that hole or get in the threads. Do the same thing with the upper one up on the shock here, and I'll do the same to the other side as well. Anything we can do to make the new install go easier, we're going to do it now. So I've got the new left side end link right here. I'm going to go ahead and start this stub through the bottom and then start this lock nut here by hand And before I tighten either of them down or before I start the top studs into their holes, I'm gonna do the same thing. Here we are back on the right side. We're gonna put this sway bar end link into place, push the stud through on the bottom side here, and then start our lock nut by hand. And then we're gonna tighten both of these bottom ones up before we start any of the top ones, so we can throw them back up into place here. Sometimes we can sneak them on with the impact. Just a couple of taps, we're eventually going to torque that down. Back here on the left side, do the same thing. Now, we can pry this sway bar back up enough that we can start our upper studs through the holes. Next, we're going to take the nut for the top stud, start it by hand, and then we're going to see if this one will snug up as well. Got that one snugged up. Now we're going to go to the last one. We're going to go to the top right stud here. Start this nut by hand. And then see if he'll snug up. Yep, that one snugged up too. Now we're going to get out the torque wrench and give these all a good torque. And then we should be ready to put the wheels back on and go down the road. Alright, so we're getting ready to torque these lock nuts down on the sway bar end links. I found my 17mm, put it on the flats of the back of this stud here. We've got the torque wrench set to 80, which is what it calls for. And we're going to hold the back, hold the stud, and we're going to torque down on this lock nut. And then we're going to do the same for the other three. I hope this video has helped you learn something about doing sway bar end links on your Kia Sorento. If you own one, you're probably going to have to do these. Thanks, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you later.